I call to order the July 22nd, 2025 Committee of the Whole of Simpsonville City Council. City Clerk Clark, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Councilmember O'Rear.
Here.
Councilmember Rube. Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Roche.
Here.
Councilmember Pinkerton.
Here.
Councilmember Hutchings.
Here.
Mayor Shoemaker.
Here. Please rise as you are able and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 4 on our agenda is a presentation by Katelyn Moore, Miss Simpsonville Teen Volunteer, and after her presentation, she has asked if council would come out in front of the dais and take a group photo with her. Katelyn, it's all yours.
Hi. So yes, my name is Katelyn Moore, and I'm the current Miss Simpsonville Teen Volunteer, and I had the honor of speaking to City Council a little over a year ago, but with some new faces and quite a lot of time passing, I would love to reintroduce myself and what I'm passionate about. And so a little bit about the organization I'm with. I'm a part of the Miss Volunteer America organization. They take pride in their representatives serving their community and leading with love. And they are founded on this acronym SERVE, and it stands for Scholarship, Education, Responsibility, Volunteerism, and Empowerment. And to be able to represent that and embody those traits means a lot to me, and I would love to share that with y'all. So, sorry y'all. They also are partnered with incredible organizations like the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and the Salvation Army, all which encourage supporting your community and loving them. But the main reason I do pageants is for something called a SERVE initiative. It's something that you represent as a local title holder and something that you're passionate about bringing awareness to your community about. And for me, it's an organization called Wait Until 8th. They encourage families and parents to postpone giving kids smartphones until at least the end of 8th grade. And this is due to research coming out about how smartphones are quite literally affecting our youth in more ways than people often understand. For instance, one of my favorite statistics I've learned while researching my SERVE initiative is that the average tween, so a little younger than a teen but older than a kid, spends around 6 hours a day on a screen. The average kid and adult spend around 7 hours a day on a screen. If you were to live into your mid-80s, spending every day of your life on screens for that amount of time, you would have spent 21 years of your life on a screen. That is quite the statistic, and I believe a reason to stand up and say, how can we make a difference in educating our parents on how screen time does affect our children? So what I've been able to accomplish as Miss Simpsonville Teen Volunteer is getting involved with schools and speaking to PTO meetings, parents, principals, and getting involved in that area. I've also been able to host events or host a booth or a table at parent nights at schools or at the Spring into Art Festival. That's a great way I've been able to bring awareness about Wait Until 8th in my community. But one thing I would love to ask y'all is there any way we can coordinate and me be able to utilize the connections that you have to further propel my message into the city of Simpsonville, along with I have a series that I do. So as a title holder, one thing a lot of the organizations will require is an Instagram account to promote how you're spending your time as a title holder. And one thing that I've started is something called Screenless Sundays, which encourages and empowers families to find some time during their week to spend without a screen. And it's been something really fun, but something I would love to take beyond my Instagram account and possibly host an event that would relate to that, where our community can come together and spend a Sunday or a day of the week screenless together. But I also, with the pageant I'm doing, I head down for check-in on Thursday. So I am getting extremely excited for what I'll be able to share with the judges in just a few short days. My interview is on Saturday, but one thing I would love as a little practice and for y'all to be able to ask me questions and get to know me and my platform and my why. So if y'all have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Council? Any questions for Katelyn? Go ahead.
I got kind of more of a remark than a question. I remember your first appearance last year. I think you were extremely nervous.
Very much so.
Have gotten so much better.
Oh, well, thank you. That's
at your public speaking. I think that's going to go a long way in your interview. But I told her mom, I saw him out at a music event, one of the Thursday night events, and I told her mom, I think there's a clone out there. I see him everywhere. She's been a great representative for Simpsonville, and I appreciate that. But I think you're getting more comfortable behind the microphone shows. I think you're going to do well.
Oh, well, thank you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
Councilmember Roche.
I usually host the Letters to Santa table every year when we do the Christmas tree lighting, which we'll do at this park this year. Mm-hmm. And I think you've been there before. I didn't really have anything set out for you to do, but if you'd like to join me this year and promote this at my table, if you have stickers or anything to give out, please come.
Yes.
Me.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I'm just curious as to how did you land on wait until 8th?
Ooh, so this is my why behind my serve initiative. So when I was actually in first grade, I got very sick, and I was sick for 5 years with an undiagnosed chronic illness that was later diagnosed as Lyme's disease. And where Lyme's disease stole my childhood, I look at what's stealing the childhood of today's youth. And for me, that's smartphones. And so that's really where my passion comes, is my vision when I do pageants and when I promote my serve initiative is preserving childhood, whether that be through someone who's battling a sickness like I was, or someone who is addicted to their screens, and helping them to reclaim their childhood is what I'm passionate about.
You've kind of hit a sweet spot with me, except from a little bit different direction, and that is wait until you get off the road.
Absolutely.
Don't use your phone in the car at all, not even hands-free. And I don't know if everybody is aware of this. It's now state law. Mm-hmm. You have to be using your phone hands-free. It's really not much better. It's just almost as bad as drunk driving, and I don't use my phone in the car at all. So.
Well, I think that's a good thing. I don't think we should either. Yeah. Any kind of distraction from driving is such a serious task we can do, putting not only our own lives at danger, but fellow drivers. I think is something that should be reconsidered of how strict we are with that law and the guidelines of it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Any other comments or questions from council? Let's get a photo.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the best compliment I think I can receive. I appreciate that. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Each member of council has received a copy of the June 24th, 2025 minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting for Simpsonville City Council. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as written. Item 6, citizen comments. We'll begin with Mr. Martin. If you would come up to the podium and state your name and address. Yeah, actually, Mr. Martin, if you would, if you want to just set it down on one of the chairs, and then you can explain what it is, and then bring it along the front of the dais to show council. So, okay.
Council, my name is Bobby Martin. I live at 104 Shaddock Drive in the Brentwood community. I've been a resident there since 1997, for 28 years. For 25 years, we lived there enjoying the peace and tranquility of our estate. We spend most of our time on the deck or in our backyard. Essentially, we live and entertain in our backyard year-round or as weather permit. For the last several years, two of our neighbors at 107 and 108 Doral Way have taken to the hobby of raising chickens in their backyard, and as such, our property has been and continues to be inundated with flies. We have spent hundreds of dollars with chemical treatment, foggers, and fly traps trying to mitigate the nuisance the neighbors are forcing upon us. But the continued and unrelenting nuisance of flies greatly affects the peace and comfort of our estate, for which we now seek relief. As a good neighbor, after Labor Day week of 2023, we kindly demonstrated this nuisance to the residents at 107 by showing them multiple fly-filled traps in and around our property, and that we attributed that to the chickens. The neighbor suggested he would investigate the flies related to chickens, but 2 years later, there is no better result, and the neighbors seem oblivious and insensible to the nuisance they are producing. We waited patiently through 2024 to see if the nuisance persists, and it did. Finally, during 2025, we continued to place multiple fly traps all around our property, and then during our annual 4th of July event, our guests were once again plagued with flies to a point where we were unable to simply enjoy a hamburger without having swarms of flies landing on our food and drink. As stated earlier, we have lived here 28 years. 25 were quite peaceful. The last 3 have been horrendous. According to the June 20, 2025 version of the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 6, Article 1, Section 62A, keeping domestic animals generally. Section A reads, "It shall be unlawful for any person to keep any domestic animal or fowl so as to be or become a nuisance or because of noise, nauseous odors, flies, filth, or otherwise tend to impair the health or disturb the peace and comfort of the normal and reasonable occupants of nearby residents or places of business." Likewise, Chapter 6, Article 1, Section 6, 84A, nuisance animals. Limitations on the number. It shall be a nuisance to keep more than 4 animals on a premises of less than 1 acre size. And the public nuisance is described. It shall be unlawful for any person to own, keep, possess, maintain an animal in such a manner so as to constitute a public nuisance. We believe this section of the ordinance gives the city the authority and responsibility to police this activity in residential areas. We recently called on the city code enforcement and animal control officers for relief, but their subsequent investigation led the officer to, we believe, wrongly conclude that the neighbor's yard was maintained and did not show a visible amount of feces to meet the criteria to be labeled a public nuisance. Mr. Mayor, I have another page, but my time has run out. I have submitted this digitally to every council member.
Right, and I did read, everything that you sent, so I definitely appreciate you doing that for me and the rest of council. So if you would just explain what it is that you've brought as your visual demonstration, and my
visual demonstration are the fly traps that I put up on the week of the 4th. There's over 1,000 flies there. I haven't counted them. I'm guessing there's 1,000 flies there. That's quite a bit.
Would you just bring that and walk along the front of the dais here and show council? Mr. Martin's not asking any of us to take one home with us.
I thank you for your attention.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Next up is Britney Mims. Ms. Mims.
All right. Hello. I'm Dr. Britney Mims. I live at 5 Delgado Way. I am here representing the Simpsonville SAS softball team yet again. Wanted to provide y'all an update. I came last month, and we have had no positive resolution to our need for field time for our girls. So, as I previously stated, I've coached rec there for 2 years. I have coached all-star teams for 2 seasons, and this past season, our girls were very successful. We won the Golden Strip tournament. I took every girl off the Simpsonville Rec all-star softball team, paid through Simpsonville Rec, and they are on the Simpsonville SAS softball team. Yes, it is a travel softball team. However, in January of this year, we had a one-on-one meeting with Robbie after one of the city council meetings, and it sounded very positive, but his words to us were that he wanted to help build the softball program here in Simpsonville, that a lot of the girls, they would leave and go to other communities to play travel ball, and we just didn't have anything like that around here. Our program seems to suffer. If you look at it, we have over 600 boys signed up for baseball. We have less than half of that for softball. Same thing in the spring, same thing in the fall. I think it was half the number of boys in the fall, half the number of the girls in the spring or in the fall as well. So, my coach, he lives in Malden. Sorry, y'all, he can't talk. But John Michael Harris is our assistant coach. And he and I have really been striving to give these girls through Simpsonville Rec a place to be and a place for the, youth sports to succeed for ladies. Since the last meeting, as I have shown you there were signs posted up at Simpsonville Rec at the park on all the fields saying that, the fields are first come, first serve, which we've heard before, and that no fields will be reserved for travel teams. Now, I'm not asking for a field to be reserved for a travel team from Greer. I'm not asking for a field to be reserved for a travel team from Woodruff or Fountain Inn. I coach Simpsonville Rec. My daughter plays for Simpsonville Rec. I am here and in the system. I'm asking for support from Simpsonville Rec to help me build these ladies a place to play. They have nothing to do. As Coach Frank Moore said last time we were in here, there's nothing to do after the rec season. They just stop. They have nothing else to do. They don't have a place to play. We have no place to practice. We're trying to do a travel softball team based out of Simpsonville Rec to give these young ladies a place to be and a place to succeed. So I would really appreciate the City Council's help with this. The signs up there say that field times can be scheduled for Simpsonville Rec sponsored teams. As a coach of Simpsonville Rec, all I'm asking is that you make some sort of anything to help us be able to reserve field time. We want to be a Simpsonville Rec sponsored team. I coach there. My children all play there, even my boys. That's all we're asking. We just need some help to help these girls.
Thank you, Ms. Mims. Tyler Mims.
Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Mims. It's 5 Delgado Way. I'm obviously the husband of Britney Mims. I just wanted to add one more thing to what she said. We were at a tournament in Anderson, so we're at the Floyd Amphitheater, Anderson Sports Complex. There, they also post signs on their field, but it is the exact opposite of Simpsonville that she said is now posted. So their signs say that all the fields are closed and reservations have to be made through the rec department. So as previously stated in the last meeting, we are seeing a lot of differences between the different communities, not asking for which one is right or wrong, but just to say that there are differences there as we're trying to pursue getting some field time for these girls that all live in Simpsonville. That's the conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mims. Item 7, staff reports. 7A, Community Relations Report. Justin Campbell, our Community Relations Specialist. Mr. Campbell.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm pleased to share a brief update from Community Relations covering June through July 2025. Some highlights are Freedom Fest was a huge success with about 7,000 attendees. The music series and food truck rodeo, which is a free event, successfully returned to the park with more than 500 people attending, and I expect that number to climb over the next few years. We have launched a From the Ellipse series. You may have seen that post on the website or posted on social media. These are quick, engaging recaps of council meetings for the public as soon as possible, right after the meeting, just giving the basics of what the votes were and what the results were of the meeting. I've had a lot of positive feedback about that, so I'm excited for that. I want to spotlight the police department and the fire departments, who both had fairly viral posts on Facebook in the last month. The fire department had a viral post about a grant they received from Firehouse Subs Foundation for some equipment, and then the police department had 3 female officers doing the Charlie Angels pose in front of the sign, but also talking about summer safety. So it's a great example of doing something fun and combining it with very important information. So I think the police department, some of the male police officers should maybe do Miami Vice or Starsky and Hutch. Is that another one? And for media and messaging, we have gotten coverage from WYFF, Fox Carolina, Greenville Journal, and Post and Courier for agenda items, also for the park dedication. I have issued an invite to the media to do kind of a full tour of the municipal complex, including the park, and I've had some interest in that, so I'm still working that. And we're preparing to launch a new public education campaign series, Know Your City, to help residents better understand what we do. These will be short form videos about what's available at Gracely Park, for example. And so I think we're going to start with parks and amenities, and then also guidelines for residents when it comes to trash pickup, brush pickup, and how they can follow those guidelines best. For community engagement, we had more than 100 people attend the Gracely Park dedication. I didn't get an exact number, but it was well attended, I believe. And we are supporting partnerships with United Way. We're about to kick off our employee pledge campaign. Our employees have donated around $20,000 every year for several years. I'm excited about a couple of new things I want to do with that. And Hillcrest High School logo will be featured on at least one, probably a few more of the fire engines or fire vehicles. Chief Nichols, Hillcrest High School, and I all agreed that that would just be a really cool, really easy thing to do. And so if you may see that logo on the fire trucks or vehicles around town. Let's see. I've now been elected, for upcoming things, I've been elected president of the Keep Greenville County Beautiful Board. That's a real honor because the people who serve on that from the other cities truly care about litter prevention and keeping not just their cities but the entire county litter-free, and also working on litter prevention. We are still planning an entertainment series for the fall. We haven't officially announced it. It's been talked about. I'm excited about that. We're about to do planning for that. Any council members who would like to order some apparel before I submit our order, you can email me or call me, and we can get you on that order sheet. That's going to go out tomorrow. We have National Night Out for the Police Department, August 5th, 6 to 8 o'clock in Heritage Park. I encourage all of you to be there if you're able to. It's great to see the police give back to the community in a different way. You know, they protect and serve, but they also have a great time with the community and families and kids. And we've started with reviving this new program with Greenville County Soil and Water Conservation District Stormwater Program. It's new to us. It's old for them, and they are trying to revive it. And so this is putting markers on storm drains to give people awareness about You're not supposed to put trash. Only rain goes down storm drains. No leaves. No yard waste. And then also has a number to call if you do see that kind of activity. This has started in Westwood near Alder Park, and then I'm going to expand it throughout the rest of the city into the other wards and neighborhoods. So thanks for your support. We want to keep you and the public informed, and appreciate you helping make that possible. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them or get you an answer.
Councilmember Roche.
I wanted to thank you for that storm drain initiative. As you know, the city spent $550,000 replacing that culvert in my neighborhood this year. So I haven't asked for speed bumps yet because I still feel guilty that we spent so much on my neighborhood. But I have been begging everyone to mind their storm debris and their yard debris and not put it in the street because it ends up in the drain. So please hop over into Ward 4 just as soon as you can. And,
yes, ma'am.
I'd love to have even a gathering there at our neighborhood park maybe one night in relation with this to really get the word out. And so it's not just me griping at everybody, but they know that it's a city initiative and we're trying to save taxpayer dollars by reminding everybody not to put their stuff on the storm drains or in the storm drains or in the streets. And I wanted to thank you too because this new format is fabulous and I know you've put a lot of time into it. All the little links and stuff that we can go to directly from the packet is just wonderful, and I just really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And Mayor, I do want to note, I want to recognize Public Works Department and Andy, who are going to help with the stormwater project. So Andy's excited about it. I am, and I think that's a wonderful idea you had about kind of having a neighborhood gathering. So,
Councilmember Hutchings.
I just want to congratulate you on the efforts you've made to increase transparency with the council. One being the from the ellipse. That was great. I think we got a real positive response right away from that, and I would really appreciate that. Also, I'm very interested to see how this Know Your City program works out. I think that'll be a success as well. And then Councilmember Williams and I, as you know, went with you on the first round of the stormwater drain program, and we definitely identified some areas that need to be worked on, and hopefully we can, by increasing the awareness in the community, we can get the community to help us with that and help get those drains cleaned up and maybe solve a little bit of the problem we have with flooding. So thank you for all that. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilmember O'Rear.
Councilmember Hutchings kind of stole a little of my thunder, but the From the Ellipse is awesome. I didn't even know about it until after the last meeting and the positive words, and I went and looked at it. I think it's great because, that was part of the reason I ran was transparency, and I try to be very transparent. And the only thing that gets any more transparent is if we did this live. So I appreciate the effort. I know that takes some effort to get it in as quickly as you did that evening, and I appreciated the detail because I know the public does. Not everyone can come or will come, but I think they appreciate the effort behind getting that information out as soon as possible. Thank you.
You're welcome, Councilman.
Council? I just want to echo Councilmember Roche that the format of the report is very, very good. But it's not just the format. You've added some additional content in here that is very good content. It's an excellent report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
and
Council.
by the way, regarding the Greenville County Beautiful Board, congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's kind of a nice title. So, yeah. Thank you, Council.
Item 7B, financial report. Mr. Coker.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Well, you have before you a copy of this month's monthly financial update. There are just a few positive numbers I'd like to call out. The first is related to our general fund revenue. Compared to 2024, fiscal year ending in 2025, we saw about almost a $4 million increase in general fund revenue. And that put us about 119% of our anticipated budget. We also have a recent influx of cash, so We're building back up. We've got almost $14 million of cash on hand as of the end of last month. And another thing related to revenue would be our H&A tax revenue, which went from 5.48 million to 5.714, which is an increase of $466,000 from fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 25. So good news. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Council? Hear any questions for the financial report? The city administrator report, Mr. Coker.
Yes, sir. Likewise, you should have a copy of the city administrator's report for July 2025. There is one item that I'd like to call special attention to, and that is on page 2 under road resurfacing. You can see that the list has been revised downward to a total mileage, or I guess a count of 5 streets and a total mileage of 0.386 miles. And so the city, we work with Cotransco, and so I was an hour before this meeting able to receive the latest data from Cotransco. I will share all of this with you at a later date, but it is worth calling out that the cost of resurfacing roads has more than doubled over the past several years, and so we'll be paying over $1 million a mile. But unfortunately, that's where things stand at this current time. So again, I'll be able to share more detailed information once I have a chance to review all the data that's been provided to me, and but I'm happy to try and answer any questions you might have right now.
Council? Mr. Hutchings.
Do we have any update on the Swamp Rabbit Trail tunneling effort? Anything there?
Yes. So actually yesterday, Charlene Carter and I had a meeting with Alliance. We're at a point where they're analyzing basically from a geotechnical standpoint what an underpass, what a trail under Fairview Road would look like. We also are trying to work with a key property owner on securing an easement. It's our plan to have essentially a construction-ready plan, but being mindful that we have other major projects that we're looking to fund. It'll certainly be, in terms of priority, it'll be a conversation that staff has with council.
Also, I want to call you out and congratulate you for prioritizing the pump track fundraiser funding for that. We got the track back up, and Robbie Davis and you, I think, had a big part in that. I posted about that today, and we got a lot of positive responses. Ms. Williams and I both have received a lot of positive neighborhood and outside the neighborhood, actually, positive comments about that. So thank you both and all the staff for getting that done for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Pinkerton.
Road resurfacing numbers that you're going to produce to us, can you make sure and include what the city, we allocated $250,000 this year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and then what that Cotransco puts into it and what their fees are? Mm-hmm. So we can get a better idea of how we're actually spending our money. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Roche.
The paint has worn thin. I think Diana was in the process of, Administrator Gracely was in the process of getting SCDOT to reline or repaint the lines for turn lanes and such at several places along Fairview Road. the lines or turn lanes are nearly completely gone at Ray Talley Court, because it's a popular entrance. Walmart, you end up at Walmart if you go through there. So it gets a lot of traffic, and people can't legitimately see which lane they're in. And I think that's causing some of our problems at that intersection. So I want to ask you now if you could get in touch with the state. And I know they're not going to repave anytime soon, but if they could just come out and repaint lines, that would be extremely helpful.
Yes, ma'am. I'll reach out to them.
Thank you.
Council? Our department heads are with us this evening, as they always are. Police, Fire, Public Works, Parks and Rec. They're available for questions and comments on their reports. Council, any questions or comments for our department heads? Hearing none, then thank you, folks, for attending. You are free to go and enjoy the rest of your evening. You won't offend us if you take off for the evening, but thank you for being here. Item 8, allocation of proceeds from the sale of Old City Hall. Mr. Coker, our city administrator, this is a discussion item and requires no action from council. Mr. Coker, if you would, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we have in our safe a check for about $843,000, and those are the proceeds from the sale of former City Hall on Main Street. Based on conversations that I've had with you as individuals, and also based on our planning workshop last week, it's my recommendation that we create an account, that we work with CCMB to create a money market account for the expenses related to the downtown revitalization project. Of course, we have a development agreement that's related to the sale of the property. As you all know, we're phasing the downtown revitalization project to accommodate our existing budget, and certainly an $843,000 contribution to that project would be beneficial, and I think that the city would. That would be the ideal location for those funds to reside until they're needed for the project itself.
Councilmember Pinkerton.
Actually, I suggest we put it into either two places, either the stormwater funds so we can take care of our citizens where we have stormwater issues, or in our paving, because obviously the rate we're paving our roads, taking Main Street and that configuration out of the way, there's several miles of city roads that really need paving over and above downtown. So my suggestion would be to put it in either one of those two accounts.
Councilmember O'Rear.
I concur with Councilmember Pinkerton. I think, part of what got struck from the agreement with the developers was the requirement to spend the sales proceeds on the streetscape, but here we are talking about doing just that. And I do think there's more pressing issues at hand, a la stormwater, that could use that money more than throwing it into a streetscape that we don't even know in the future how much money we're going to have and what stages we're going to do it in and everything else. So I think this is a great opportunity to use that kind of money for things that are more pressing to the city.
Councilmember Hutchings.
Question: do we have to designate a use for these funds at this time?
No,
Could
sir.
we put it into an account, interest-bearing account, and decide that at a future time?
Yes, sir.
So, Councilmember Hutchings, would you put it where?
Into a money market account, but not specify what particular use it would be for at this time until we decide where the greatest need is.
Would that effectively be putting it in the general fund?
Effectively, it would be, I think.
So in order to do anything with it out of the general fund, it would have to be put on the agenda, go through committee of the whole, and then a business meeting to be voted on to take it out of the general fund to be spent.
Which is not a bad thing, in my opinion.
Councilmember Roche.
I just want to take the time to remind council that when we had the workshop, part of the downtown revitalization, the streetscape project in particular that we looked at with the blueprints, we noticed that there would be areas of issue with stormwater. We're having to go under this street, for instance, to connect to stormwater on the other side. So this project quickly needed more money than we had anticipated, along with the increase of cost of everything. So honestly, if we go ahead and designate it as Administrator Coker has suggested for streetscape, downtown revitalization, it's all going to the same project and will allow us to address some of the paving issues and some of the stormwater issues, because it's kind of a collective thing. I just want to encourage everyone to view it as that, because, I mean, as we know with stormwater, to change one issue is to create another, and so we will be chasing these issues throughout the construction process. Any money that we can throw at the overall project is eventually going to lead to stormwater and paving. Those are my thoughts.
I agree with Councilmember Roche. Any further comments from council? Okay. Councilmember Pinkerton?
Question. What happens next? I mean, is that done and dusted? It's going to this account, or do we make a decision on this later, or just based on the recommendation by the administrator?
Administrator Coker?
The administrator decides. This is a discussion item. It falls within the purview of this rule. It's an item that I intended to discuss last week during our workshop, but when the property closed, again, we have a check, and so we need to put it somewhere. And so I wanted to have a formal discussion with you all as a body to decide on the best course forward. So I was hoping to find some consensus, and obviously there are a wide variety of ideas and approaches. Certainly the simplest approach would just be to deposit directly into the general fund. So that would be the place where any and all projects could be funded. But it would just, again, it would be mixed and mingled with other dollars, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, I just want to say I disagree. This, unfortunately, sort of a boondoggle of a streetscape plan that's been out there for years is 2x more than it ever was supposed to be, and it's taken forever to get it done, where we could take $750,000 and put it immediately into doing some paving on the roads that really need it. And in fact, we know that the streetscape project probably won't kick off for a year from now. So prices are just going to continue to rise. So I just disagree, and I just want to state that publicly.
Councilmember O'Rear?
Yeah, one example came to mind here. We talked about needs and wants. Needs are things like paving and stormwater. Wants are throwing more money at a streetscape project, I think. But, sometimes you prioritize things. And when I was HOA president in my neighborhood, we had a developer that was dumb enough not to pay his HOA dues for several years. So we came into about $8,000 all at one time. And we had an issue in our neighborhood that lowered property values, and part of it was fescue and most of it was sod. So we took that windfall, which was what we considered it, and we sodded the rest of our neighborhood. And it has gone over very well, and our neighborhood looks great. So in other words, that was a need for all of the units in my neighborhood, the need being we need to keep our property values up. So I think when you get a windfall like this, with the needs we've had, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, we approved a initially a stormwater study to find from top to bottom the biggest needs and that we need to take care of, but have now discovered we don't really have the money to do that study. Well, now we do. So I would suggest we start there, and that way we can figure out where we are, what the biggest needs are, and then we can make plans to fix those in the near to distant future. That would be my suggestion.
Councilmember Williams?
I think I would agree with Councilmember Roche. As stormwater is very important in the city, traffic is an issue in the city, and we have plans to go towards this streetscape, and with having to kind of cut back on some, I think this will be definitely beneficial to everybody coming. Everybody coming into the city. So I'm for putting it towards the streetscape also.
Administrator Coker?
Yes, I will say that one idea that I've discussed with staff would be to set aside about $150,000 of the proceeds as a 25% match for an upcoming grant that we're expecting to be eligible for through the State Department of Resiliency. And so that $150,000, again, could serve as a match. And our request would be for a citywide stormwater master plan. And again, I've worked with staff to ballpark what such a plan typically runs, and our best estimate right now is around 600. So, we would be able to multiply or to leverage some of those proceeds in a way that, frankly, would give us the ability to have a big picture overall understanding of what our stormwater needs are. And so that could very well be a wise use of a portion of the proceeds.
One comment that, go ahead, Councilman Roche.
I just wanted to say that for the people that are listening, maybe for the first time, I'd hate for them to think that the streetscape project that we're talking about is some fluffy expenditure. The streetscape plan that we were talking about and met about last week involves the one-ways going in. It involves, sorry, I just swallowed my gum. Involves the removal of the planters down the middle of the street that cause the bottlenecks on Main Street. It involves changing all of this so that we can make a left-hand turn in Simpsonville, which has been my goal for the entire time I've been on council. People have been complaining about getting stuck at these intersections at prime times during the day. This plan, SODOT believes, and I think I do too at this point, is going to relieve that. It's going to control the flow. This isn't when it says streetscape, it's not, yes, there will be some nice lighting. We're hoping to add some trees. We are a tree city now. But it's not all fluff, okay? It's not the park. This is something to actually help traffic. And honestly, I understand everybody up here is passionate. Man, I appreciate the passion of this council, especially the newer members. But, arguing over where we're going to put $843,000 when we are spending $17 million, I just don't see the point. Wherever it goes, it's going to go toward streets, paving, and stormwater. So no matter where we put it, I trust our new administrator. This is the reason that we hired him, is to make these kind of decisions. I appreciate him bringing the discussion to us. But I don't feel like personally we need to vote or micromanage where we spend $843,000 in the overall picture. I appreciate the initiative he just said about a stormwater master plan. That is something that would really go a long way, and I hope that we would get the study done and we'd address all of the pertinent issues that we have with stormwater with that. That sounds like a very worthy project, and it'll probably end up marrying with this streetscape at some point.
So a couple of comments. First of all, regarding putting the money in the general fund, we have a healthy general fund, and I'm not saying there's any problem with our general fund, but I do want to point out that if we put the money in the general fund, we are required by state law to keep a minimum amount in our general fund against our annual budget. So if we fell below that amount, then we can't really access that money except for an emergency to use that money for something we would like to do. So if we put it into a designated fund, then it can go there. The other comment I want to make is that the downtown revitalization project, I think that's the proper word for it, not streetscape. Streetscape was part of that entire project, but we're now talking about trimming that down to concentrating on the traffic flow and as Councilmember Roche says, making left turns possible in downtown. The reason that we are having to scale back that project or phase that project is due to lack of having enough money. And there are reasons behind that, increase in prices and not getting expected funding from the state. And we're talking about repaving state roads. My point is that the problem is not enough money. Putting this money into something else, I think, is only just possibly delays this project even farther. We have $250,000 in our budget to go towards stormwater. I think the first thing that we need to do is get a stormwater study so that we know that if we spend money on fixing stormwater problems, we are addressing the most important problems first. I don't want to take $1 million, $800,000 from this and $250,000 in the budget and just throw it at one single thing if we don't know that that's the right thing to go fix first. So that's just my comments. Council? All right, hearing no further discussion, we will move on to the next item on the agenda. Item 9 is business. These are items that are anticipated to come before the council at our next business meeting. An action that we take tonight on an agenda item simply moves this item to the business meeting agenda. 9A, Resolution R-2025-02, designation of Simpsonville, Simply Home, by Steve Eager as the official anthem of the City of Simpsonville. Councilmember Hutchings, this is your item. Please summarize.
I'm proposing a resolution designating Simpsonville, Simply Home, by Steve Eager as the official anthem of the City of Simpsonville. The reason for this proposal is Simpsonville, Simply Home is a heartfelt tribute to the city that inspires pride in Simpsonville, a community in which arts, culture, and music play a vital role in celebrating our identity, preserving our heritage, and uniting generations from all walks of life. The song captures the warmth, charm, and feeling of belonging that makes Simpsonville so unique, and formalizing a city anthem would add to that uniqueness. From a practical standpoint, the song would be of value to the city to be played at official city functions, community celebrations, civic ceremonies, and other appropriate events to foster unity and pride in the city. And I may add that we would also like to put that on our website so people can, when they access our website, they can enjoy it as well. Therefore, I am proposing a motion to approve Resolution R-2025-02, designation Simpsonville, Simply Home, by Steve Eager as the official anthem of the City of Simpsonville.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Hutchings with a second from Councilmember Roche. Discussion? Councilmember Hutchings.
At this time, the way this came about was Steve performed this at our tree lighting ceremony last year, and I heard that, and he and I got into discussions about how this would be a great thing to make a studio version of and use it for our website. It's gone beyond that quite a bit since then. We've gotten a lot of grassroots support from people that helped us put this video together and did a great job. And I'd just like for Steve to come up and just tell us a little bit about the process, if you would.
Sure.
Well, first of all, thank you. I mean, this is an incredible honor. I mean, to be here tonight, thank you, council members, Mayor Shoemaker. This has been a wonderful experience from start to finish. I'll try to keep this very short and efficient here. They say I'm a singer-songwriter, and I live in Greenville. And they say when you're in music, you write what you know. So that's what I've always tried to do. A few years ago, we wrote a song. I live in Greenville, and I love the state of South Carolina. I love the towns here. I love the beauty of the outside. I love the personality of the people in the towns. And I love where I live. So we wrote a song on Greenville. And then I got kind of into college football. And I apologize if anybody's a big USC fan, but I follow Clemson. And we wrote a song on Clemson. But my wife grew up, so I was kind of thinking, you're always looking at the next idea. And every year, as Council Member Hutchings mentioned, we come down here for the Simpsonville tree lighting, and it is a highlight. I mean, I know I've met a lot of you through that time. Every year, it's been just a wonderful experience. It really is one of the days of the year that I look forward to the most. And so I wrote a song on Simpsonville at that time, and we had members of the Hillcrest Choir join us, and it was just a great experience. The reaction of the crowd and the investment of the time from Hillcrest. And so that's when I approached. And again, I want to say a special thank you to Councilmember Hutchings and Justin Campbell. I started a meeting with them immediately. I said, would it be possible to put together some sort of a video, a studio version, as he mentioned, that would kind of represent this as well as possible? And so that's when we started. I mean, it was literally just a few days after we talked that people were already getting involved. And I thank you, so many of you here on the council, for the discretionary funds that were involved in that. We had 1885 contribute a large portion of money. The Verdon family and the veterinary clinic, Integrity Health, involved in that as well. It was just an immediate reaction. Again, all of that went to specifically to the musicians that were involved and to the videographer and to the recording. That didn't go to me. That just went to the people that were involved in putting that all together. But it meant a lot to me because my wife, who is here tonight, Betsy, she grew up in Simpsonville. And her great-grandfather was a mayor years ago. And so we would come down here to visit her grandmother. We'd go out to eat at Anita's. And I loved just the whole city. And over the years, I don't know how many years I've been coming here now from Greenville, seeing it grow, seeing it change, and the beauty of it. And when we did the video at the very beginning, I talked to Councilman Hutchings about it and Justin Campbell. I wanted, as a musician, to present the city of Simpsonville not just as this, it's a beautiful country town, which it is, but it's going somewhere, and to see it grow and to see this municipal. I came in here tonight and I'm like, this is spectacular. I mean, the Gracely Park is just eye-catching and eye-opening to see what can be done in a town of this size, how it's going somewhere, how it is really setting a standard in so many different ways. This municipal building, it's spectacular. And coming at it from an outsider standpoint, from not living here. But again, my wife would tell me stories about growing up here and what Simpsonville used to be, and the one road that everybody would take, Lawrence Road, and now to see what it's become. So it really was a labor of love for me to put this video together. I wanted to show it as a town that was beautiful. Country was around it. It was aesthetically beautiful, but also it was going places, and businesses were moving here and people were moving here. And so that was why I wanted initially to put this video together. And I hope that it reflects. That's been something I've been thinking about this whole time. Does my vision reflect what you all have in mind? Because music is very subjective. And the way people look at things is very subjective. But at the same time, I wanted to put together something that came from my heart and my wife's heart as well. She's been an incredible support from the day one. And if you look at the end of the video, you'll see pictures, black and white photos that were from the book by Mr. Staten. Mr. Staten, am I saying that properly? He was gracious enough to allow us use some of those pictures. And those are family members of Betsy's, many of those. And so it was just something that I wanted to show how we felt about this city, but also I wanted to present it in a way that people that are coming here from the north or from Florida, and there are so many people moving into the area, are going to look at Simpsonville and go, wow, that has way more to offer than I ever would have imagined. In so many different respects. I mean, again, I look at Main Street. I mean, the bell tower. It's beautiful. I look at the businesses, and I wanted that to be a part of the video. So again, I want to say a special thank you. Councilmember Hutchings and Justin have been with us from the start. Mayor Shoemaker, that we have spoken with every Christmas tree lighting, and so many of you that were gracious in your donations. I can't say how much I appreciate it, because this has been an incredible experience from start to finish for me, and I hope that it's represented in the video as well. So I know I probably forgot some of the things I was going to say just now, and maybe that's already too much. I'm still trying to get over the 21 years on the cell phone that was talked about earlier this morning. But again, if you have any questions, if there's anything that I can answer that maybe will not be clear from the video, I know it's probably fairly cut and dried. This is just a tribute. This is a love song to a city that I think represents in the very best way what I think of as a quintessential city in South Carolina. And from there, extrapolate to the country. I mean, this is what I think of as South Carolina is made up of, and the country is made up of. So thank you again for this opportunity. I mean it from my heart when I say you all have been incredibly kind and generous, and thank you.
Councilmember Hutchings?
I just want to say everyone has in your packet a copy of the resolution, if you want to take a look at that. I believe we have a clip that you've provided for us this evening. Is that correct?
We have a short excerpt. It's not the whole video, but we do.
No. Yes.
So here we go.
Yesterday we walked the streets of that town where my wife lived her childhood years. The shops and the park, it all felt like a hallmark. She relived the past with some laughter and tears. She said way back then every street had a creek. We were country and city in one. And that old woodside mill, I remember it's still where the cotton threads used to be spun. Simply Simpsonville, you're so beautiful, suitable, perfect for me. Simply Simpsonville, you're a treasure, a pleasure, most definitely. I might be far away, but my heart will always stay back where my memories roam. Simply Simpsonville, simply home.
And if you want to see the rest of that video, it is on Steve Eager YouTube music channel. And you can see the whole video. It starts out with an indication of the countryside of Simpsonville, kind of a quiet, and then it breaks into the song, and then a thank you and credits to everyone involved in the video. So Steve Eager Music, Simpsonville Simply Home on YouTube.
Before I go to council, I just want to make one comment. So I spend time on getting this ready to go for council each meeting and testing it to make sure that it will play on the screens and that kind of thing. And I don't know whether this is a compliment or makes it good music or whatever, but it's an earworm. It's been in my head all day. So,
definitely.
Council?
Definitely.
Councilmember O'Rear.
I just want to say a couple other things. One thing, we had our municipal association council this week, and I asked if there was any city in the state that had a city anthem, and apparently they don't. So I think we're the first and maybe the only city in the state of South Carolina that have this anthem.
That's wonderful. That's very cool.
And then what I like to say is this demonstrates Simpsonville as it was, as it is, and as it will be.
Yes.
I think it perfectly demonstrates that. At this point, I'd like you, if you don't mind, to ask Justin if he has some remarks he'd like to make. He was a big part in helping us get this thing put together.
Council, from a community relations perspective, this is a gem. I mean, this is a real asset to have. As far as I can tell, I'm 99.99% sure there are no other songs like this in the state. And the only song I could find for the rest of the country, for the United States, was Left My Heart in San Francisco, which actually did codify their song. So it is possible there are a few other cities in the country who have something like this. I could not find them. So this would be very unique. As far as promotion, marketing, tourism, having a song that we don't have to go and pay a company to do a music video for us, or a video in production and add music to it, or have to get stock sound off Adobe. That is something that would be really cool to have. This has a professionally produced music video, and it showcases visually Simpsonville in a wonderful way, and I'm just really excited to be able to use this as a tool to promote the city. So that is all I have.
Councilmember O'Rear.
Yes, I want to thank Councilmember Hutchings for arranging all of this. Like Mr. Eager said, music is subjective to everyone. Most people don't care for what I listen to, but I really enjoyed that. And I'll tell you what Simpsonville was, and I think I've been around here since the 70s. Is it was small enough to where the pride of Simpsonville were the little league teams and the rec teams. We didn't have middle school teams then. And then the big boys on Friday nights at Hillcrest, that was the community. But as Councilmember Hutchings pointed out, as we grow, we need more things to be unique about. And this is one of those. And I had no idea it was that unique. But I appreciate your talent. I have zero musical talent. I can listen to it with the best of them, but I can do nothing else. So I appreciate all the efforts you put in, and I appreciate Councilmember Hutchings for arranging this, and Mr. Campbell for all the work he did on it, too. Appreciate it.
Council? So just as a follow-up to Mr. Campbell's comments, I saw earlier this week that the state of Hawaii is the only state that has an official hand sign, shaka. So I'm confident this will pass and will be the only city besides San Francisco with an official anthem. So if there are no further comments or questions from council, on the motion to approve Resolution R-2025-02, designation of Simpsonville, Simply Home, by Steve Eager as the official anthem of the City of Simpsonville, and therefore moving this item to the agenda of the next business meeting, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed signify by saying no. That motion carries by a vote of 6-0 and is unanimous among the members of council present. At this time, we are preparing to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter in the administration department. A motion is in order. Councilmember Williams.
Mayor and Council, I move to enter into executive session to discuss the appointment of a person to public body as allowed by South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70, Paragraph A, Subparagraph 1.
Second. I have a motion from Councilmember Williams with a second from Councilmember Roche. As we go into executive session, no action will be taken during the executive session except to adjourn or to return to public session. Council will not commit this public body to a course of action by a polling of members in executive session. As required by state law, even though it has already been said as part of the motion, I am now announcing that City Council has voted to enter into executive session as allowed under South Carolina Code 30-4-70, Paragraph A, Subparagraph 1, for the purpose of discussion of employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee. Upon coming out of executive session, council may reconvene the meeting to take action on matters discussed in executive session. I do anticipate that we will be coming back to public session, but we also may adjourn during our executive session. City Council is in executive session. Council has returned to public session. The matter that was discussed in executive session was appointment of a finance director as the city treasurer. Members of council, I move to place on the next business meeting agenda the appointment of the individual selected by City Administrator T. Coker as finance director to also serve as the city treasurer in accordance with city ordinances.
Second.
Was that Councilmember Pinkerton? Councilmember Hutchings. I can never tell. So I have a motion from the mayor with a second from Councilmember Hutchings. Is there any discussion? As there is no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. All opposed signify by saying no. That motion carries by a vote of 6-0 and is unanimous among all members present. If there are no objections, this completes all of our agenda items for this evening. We will stand adjourned.